I get it. Times are tough. How much should you help out your residents? Today on the Landlord Daily Ish Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Dolfini. Welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily Ish Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how much you should help your residents. It's a big topic right now, especially in the middle of this pandemic. So if you're watching, would love to hear your thoughts on this, because this is a little bit controversial. But I'm gonna take a tack on here that maybe other people are not thinking about. So it's gonna be an interesting discussion today. Hopefully not one-sided. So if you're watching this, please let me know where you're coming from. I know I got a couple friends that have been watching. One's a high school buddy. He's been watching this from Denver. Other people in Atlanta, other people just here, and about 3 miles away in my local town. So it's good to see you all. So let me know where you're coming from. Before we get started today, just want to let you know really quick, in case you have to jump off and don't get to come back on. I'm hosting a webinar this coming Saturday, which is going to go over the entire VIP method. It's real quick. It's going to cover some really good nuggets. It's going to be 90 minutes. So it'll be 10 o'clock this coming Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, but you have to get registered, and just keep in mind, I'm only allowing a certain number in the room just because I like to keep the room small. So if you're interested, go ahead, get registered, and I will see you on Saturday. So today we're going to be talking about how much should you help your residents out. And I get this. I mean, I've been doing this now for 22 years. It's hard to believe I've been doing it that long. And I would get residents that would call sometimes, and in the early days, of course, they had my cell phone, so they're calling me saying they've got, they're out of work, they're in between jobs, whatever it is. Things always happen. And it doesn't matter how good the economy is at any one given time. It always seems like if you say to someone, yeah, times are tough, like literally the streets could be paved in gold, and everybody's driving around a Lamborghini, and you're always going to get someone that's going to agree with you. Oh yeah, times are tough. It's tough out there. Yeah, hard to put gas in your Lamborghini, right? Always tough. But anyway, you always get someone to agree with you on that statement. But the issue here that I would run into is that, I couldn't get my residents to pay. So my natural urge is I want to help them out, right? I want to help them out as much as I could. And I remember, a lot of people, especially in the early days, they would say, well, I'm out of work right now. Could I work for you? Could I do some drywall for you? I don't know why they think they was always like defaulted to drywall. Like, dude, I don't ever hang drywall. Why do you think I need that much drywall work done? But anyway, and I had to get used to saying, look, I can't pay my bills with your labor. It became such an issue with people wanting to do work for me, wanting to clean, wanting to do whatever. So times were, difficult. So I was trying to come up with this plan to help people out. And I thought I had a pretty good plan. So what I did was I was in a networking group. I was in BNI. So if any of my BNI people are out there, please say hello. But I was in BNI for 14 years. I stepped out just this past summer. And it's an amazing organization, really good for networking. And in that networking group, we met at 7 a.m. And there were two people. There were two staffing agencies. One was a day laborer, company, and another one was a temp agency. They were similar, but they were enough different to where they were in the same chapter. If you know anything about BNI, they don't allow two of the same industry in the same chapter. So what I did was I was thinking, well, the manpower person was looking for someone, for temporary labor at, industry and whatever else that was needed in the area. Here in Lafayette, there's quite a bit of industry. The other company was called Labor Ready. I don't even think Labor Ready is around anymore. I know they're not here in Lafayette, but Labor Ready was a fantastic thing. Like, say you just needed someone to come over to your house and spread mulch, right? Like, you bought the mulch, you got it there, you get it there, it's sitting in your driveway, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this is a lot more work than I wanted. You can get day laborers, and you pay with a credit card. They get paid at the end of the day, not by you, but you pay Labor Ready, but Labor Ready would cut them a check that day. So they could walk in, they get sent to go, move some stuff, move a piano, whatever the day labor was that was working, right? So I'm thinking, man, this, being creative, right? Trying to think of different ways that I can help these people out. I thought this would be fantastic, because if someone called up and said, hey, can't pay my rent, I'm out of work, could I do drywall for you? Could I do this or that? I'm like, no, but I'll tell you what, there's Labor Ready, which will get you a check. I mean, they've got work. They could get you a check today. No question about it. They're like, all you got to do is go over there, mention my name. I think the gal's name was Christy. To let Christy know that, you're ready to work. All you got to do is show up. All you got to do is just show up. And they're like, oh yeah, thank you so much. This is fantastic. I really appreciate it. And I was like, okay, this is great, right? Not one time. And I probably had this conversation, I would say at least 24 times. Not one time did that person hang up the phone and go to work for Labor Ready. Not once, not one time. And it got to the point where, like the first time I was super excited. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is, whatever. And I would call the manager there, Christy, and I'd say, hey, I'm sending someone over there. They'll probably be, they said they were getting ready to leave right now. They'll probably be there in the next 10, 15 minutes. Just watch out for them. It sounds like they're really eager to work, blah, blah, blah. After about the 5th time of no one showing up, I just stopped calling. I was like, well, they're ready. I was still as excited to send them over there, everything else. But after about the 10th time, I was like, you know what, you can go do this, whatever. And after about the 24th time, I just stopped recommending it altogether, right? There was one time, there was this guy, and he was a welder. And welders at that point in time, because we have Wabash Trailer here here locally, and they were dying. They needed welders bad, and I don't know what they were putting together. I think they were putting frac tanks together. So they needed welders bad, and they were paying top dollar for welders. And this guy was a welder, and he for whatever reason, he was out of work in between jobs. And I happen to know this because the person at Manpower mentioned, hey, if you know somebody that's welding, send them my way, because they're paying huge money for this. So I was like, oh man, okay. By serendipity, this guy shows up, calls and says, hey, I'm out of work, blah, 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 can't, drywall, blah, 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 have that conversation again. And I'm like, dude, I have got the dream. This is perfect timing. I'm super excited about this. All you got to do, call this at the time, the woman that was there, I think it was Jane. Jane was there. Call up Jane. She's ready for you. I teed this up perfectly. Never showed, never called, nothing. So, as much as my intentions were to help these people out, and as much as they were, calling me at least to give me some heads up that, hey, they don't have the rent, looking for looking for work, but, can you do drywall? It occurred to me that really what it was not so much that they wanted to work, but they were looking for validation that it was okay that they couldn't pay the rent, or it was an excuse that I was going to be like, oh, okay, well, just let me know what you can do. It was an excuse not to work. So, it did leave me a little bit jaded in terms of like, well, this is ridiculous. Like I went and did all this extra, work and time and effort, try to get these people, to get the, if they're down on their luck, and I went and like tapping into my network, trying to make this all work. And at the end of the day, I had to realize it was not my problem that I was assuming for them. Like it was not my problem to solve. And it was interesting because there was a business owner here locally. Her name is Carrie. She owns a couple restaurants, and she said to me something that she learned, and I thought this was pretty interesting. She said, this may not be your fault, but this is your problem to solve. Is there anything I can do to help that? Right? she didn't insert herself as part of the solution, right? Because it really wasn't her problem, right? Just bad things sometimes happen. And this makes me think about something called the drama triangle. If you're not familiar with the drama triangle, it's something I wrote about in my book. But the book's The Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. But at the end of the book, it talks about some human skills that relates to the drama triangle. Now, if you're not familiar with the drama triangle, it's pretty straightforward. Drama cannot exist unless there's three things. So at the top of the drama triangle is the victim, right? That's the person who is calling you with their problem. And you probably have a relative or a friend or a neighbor or somebody that is just absolutely exhausting. We all have them, right? And we all know who they are. You don't need to name names. That's fine. They probably don't even recognize who they are. But maybe I'm the victim and I don't even know it. But anyway, probably not likely. But victims are just serial victims, right? They're victims of everything. And what they're victims of is the next piece of the drama triangle, and that's the antagonist. Now, the antagonist doesn't necessarily need to be a person, but it often is. But it could be anything. It could be their car that didn't start. It could be traffic that that got them delayed or whatever. It could be anything. The antagonist could be anything. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a person. It could be a thing too. And then for the drama to be created, there has to be a hero. And the hero is generally the person that is bringing their problem to you. They're expecting you in some way to solve that problem for them. And if you step in as the hero, if you step in to solve their problem, you have now created drama, because I just created all this drama by trying to find jobs for these people that had no intention of actually working. I created all this drama, and it was almost like, because I inserted myself by saying, oh, great, you can go get, work, you can get paid today, this and that. I know you're behind on rent, but you probably need, money for food or whatever. Like, I'm inserting myself as their hero and created all this drama where it didn't even need to be. So I think the kindest thing to bring this back is, how much should you help your residents? I think the kindest thing is just to make sure you don't insert yourself into the drama triangle as their hero. I think it is right to help. I think it's right to show them the tools, but I don't think it's right to give away the store. I don't think it's right to give away, like, free rent, or just say, hey, leave an open and blank check to do that. You have to understand that it is still their problems to solve. And I think you're doing them a big disservice by inserting yourself and giving away the tools and making it as easy as possible, because at the end of the day, it is still their responsibility, right? So so that is today's topic. So let's go ahead and check out. Let's see if there's any comments today. If there's anybody that's watching, let's see here. Well, I am not seeing my video show up. I'm not sure if there's anybody there. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, so time's up. So I've got no comments today. All right. Well, it's a quiet day out there, I guess. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody watching the show today. Just a quick thing I just want to hit again. If you are interested, just go ahead and check out landlordcoach.com/webinar. Don't think if there's anybody that's signed up just yet. I had a couple people view the page, but if you are interested, go to landlordcoach.com/webinar. It is going to be held on Saturday, and it's going to be me. So if you've got questions, maybe you've got some rental properties, and I'm happy to do a Q&A at the end. So it would be really worth your while. It's a good way to spend 90 minutes, and it'll be on a Saturday, so you don't have to worry about screwing up your workday. The other thing is if you are looking for property management software, Rent-A-Ware, I actually talked to the developer of Rent-A-Ware software. Great guy. And talked to him today about some new exciting things that are coming up for Rent-A-Ware. It's such a great platform. So if you are a mom and pop investor, if you are an individual self-managing rental property housing provider, man, these titles just seem to get longer and longer. I really tell you that Rent-A-Ware is a fantastic product that you just need to at least check out, because it is a really great platform for that. So that's all I have. Let's wrap this up with the quote of the day. I love this quote, and I think it's so appropriate for exactly what we just talked about. And be the change that you want to see in the world. I absolutely love that, and it actually tracks with one of my core values in my own business. I love that very much. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Please be sure to place value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. Most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.